The impeachment may be looming, and the Intelligence Committee chair steps up and gives a long statement, what he later says is parody. Take a listen. Here's Congressman Adam Schiff.
I don't see much reciprocity here. I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it.
It initiated this as if he were explaining this conversation between the president and the leader in the Ukraine, Zelensky. We actually then, it of course does not match what was actually released whatsoever. You have suggested now at this point in time introducing, contemning and censuring Chairman Adam Schiff for this behavior. Why do you think that's important?
Well, normally I would say, let's just debate this stuff out. We say things all the time that the other side disagrees with. I'm all for that. But in this particular instance, what the chairman did is he actually concocted a completely false narrative, threw it out there, and basically misled the entire Republic about this transcript. He acted like he was reading from the transcript. Nothing he said was factually related to the transcript. It wasn't even his own interpretation of what was in the transcript. It was just a whole cloth false narrative. And it wasn't until he was pressed on it later on, they said, oh, I just meant it as parody. Well, you know what? Nancy Pelosi just said, an impeachment inquiry is as serious almost as a declaration of war. And if this guy's up there throwing up a comedic statement and trying to make it and portray it to the world that it's an accurate statement, that is censurable, in my opinion.
So on the bright side, the actual transcript as it's been released, or what we have available to read, this record as it's being pertained, is a quick read. It's only 5 pages, so the American people can read it for themselves. But it seems that as people on both sides of the political aisle have read this document, they've come to very different conclusions. So I just want to get your thoughts on what you see when you've read these 5 pages. Do you see a quid pro quo? Or do you see treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors? Of course, that would pertain to a potential impeachment. Or do you see a, quote, perfect conversation? What do you see?
Well, I see a conversation that covers a wide variety of issues, and no, I don't see anything impeachable in here, and no, I don't see a quid pro quo. And don't forget, I mean, we were told literally the day before this came out, when Nancy Pelosi, the speaker, said, you know, there was quid pro quo here. You know, I had the feeling, well, we're going to see something that will show an explicit, you know, if you give me this, we'll give you that. And then they came out and they said, well, it wasn't explicit, it was implicit. And then they started using the term mob boss and everything. So they tried to reconstruct a narrative based on a transcript that doesn't underlie the accusations that they made initially. And so I look at it and I say, I mean, I didn't find anything egregious here. I mean, he's talking about everything, congrats, blah, blah, blah. And it was just a normal conversation that you would expect between the leader of our nation and the leader of the Ukraine nation.